All right, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Up front is a 5.9 liter V8 and down below is a 3-speed automatic transmission with overdrive. If you'd like to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive, or I'll be writing a complete article about the 98 Cherokee. And if you would like to see my videos before they are released, head on over to patreon.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. For $2 a month, you can see all my videos before they are released. But let's get back to that 5.9 liter V8. Well, although the Cherokee of this generation was offered with a 5.9 V8, this is actually the 5.2 liter V8 body that has had a 5.9 liter swapped into it. But that being said, it is the 5.9 liter Magnum. It's the same engine you'll find in the 98 Ram that I reviewed. It was actually my first review was the 98 Ram because it was my own personal truck. These engines are pretty solid. They're Magnum V8s, 360 cubic inches. The only real issues you'll have with them, at least for me personally, we had a pretty bad oil burning issue on our 98 Ram. But other than that, they're pretty solid motors. They're heavy, but they're solid. Like I said, paired to it is a 3-speed automatic transmission. Nothing too crazy there, but what is interesting is the 4-wheel drive. So this is a 4-wheel drive model, but it's not typical 4-wheel drive like you would expect. It's actually all-time 4-wheel drive. So I do still have a 4-wheel drive shifter down below here, but it's only for 4 high, neutral, or 4 low. There is no 2-wheel drive option here, which is really interesting. It's weird that they give you the whole handle. You could pick high or low, but you can't put it into 2-wheel. So unfortunately, that does kill the gas mileage. This gets pretty bad gas mileage. As of right now, the computer is telling me the average is 6.8 miles to the gallon. So let's get on to the interior. There's a bunch of really interesting things in here because this was one of the highest trim levels. The only higher trim level than this was the 5.9. So you got the 5.9, some trim, as well as everything you'll find in here. So this actually is pretty loaded with 1998 technology. In front of me, there are a bunch of gauges. On the left is my tachometer. On the right is my speedometer. Then on the far right, I have oil pressure and temperature. On the left, I have battery voltage and fuel. I really like the setup of the gauges. I think it almost looks like maybe like a Cessna airplane, you know, like one of those smaller airplanes. It kind of looks like those gauges. They're very easy to read, very identifiable font. And the speedometer and tachometer have these orange lines that go straight down. Not really sure what they're for, but they do add a really utilitarian visual aspect to the gauges. I really like that. To the left, I have my light and dome light options. On the door, I have my window switches, which are at a almost 90-degree angle. But interestingly enough, I do have memory seats. So I actually have 2 different memory seats that I can set, which is really, really handy. And that does mean that this is a power seat, which again, a really nice feature. On the steering wheel, all I have is cruise control options, and that's it. But I do have volume buttons behind the steering wheel. So there's 2 little buttons behind there. To the right of the steering wheel, I have heated seat options. So not only is this a memory seat, it's a power seat, but it is a heated seat. But that's a pretty big deal. That's a nice feature, and it still does work to this day. To the right of the heated seat options, I have my rear wiper options. Then we get into the center stack. So then we have our radio, which has since been replaced with a more modern one. Climate control, which actually has a little digital readout telling you where it is sending the air in the Jeep. The fan knob is actually sort of weird. So there's high, auto, and low, but then you can also turn the dial to whatever amount of air you want. So if low is too low, high is too high, and auto doesn't do it for you, you can set it somewhere in the middle and it'll give you that amount of climate control. Then down below your climate controls, you get something really interesting. I really like this. It's a little digital readout that on the left shows your Jeep, and on the right you get time, day, and day of the week, which is really interesting. Like right now it's telling me it's Monday, March 4th. It'll also tell me miles till service. You hit that select button and it'll tell you miles until service. So that's really cool. A lot of modern cars don't even do that, which is really nice. But I want to go back to it. That little Jeep on the left, it's so like 80s, 90s futuristic, like it's trying to fake that there's like a scanner, like it's scanning the car. I don't know, it just gives me a really 80s vibe almost. Then we have the shifter, nothing really too crazy there. You have your 4-wheel drive selector to the left of that. Then I have a center console, cup holders, and that's really it. I do have a sunroof, which I will not open because it is 9 degrees, but really sizable sunroof. And then it is a 4-door, 4-seater, so I will do a backseat review. All right, so we are in the back of the Cherokee, and honestly, it's pretty nice back here. You have pretty decent room. Your knees might touch the front seats, but that's okay. I could see all around me. Very good visibility for the back seat. I get 2 little extendable cup holders down here, power windows. The wood grain continues onto the back doors. Other than that, nothing else really back here. I guess I have my own lights. That's kind of nice, but really basic back seats, but pretty comfortable. Definitely this really cushiony 90s leather I really like. Like if you could see this, look at how squishy this is. And this is the same goes for the seats. I miss that in cars. I miss really squishy leather seats, or even really squishy cloth seats. I miss squishy seats, honestly. But I feel like modern cars, they're so hard and no frills that like these seats were kind of better, honestly. Now, the last thing I'll say about the interior, which you probably have been putting up with this entire video, is that it is loud in here. There's not a whole lot of sound deadening, and part of that is because there is no carpet right now. The carpet has been removed. The bigger tires make it a lot louder. But other than that, there are a couple plastics here in the dash that shake and rattle. It's a 90s car. You know, it's over 20 years ago. Everything's not going to fit perfect for 20 years. I get it. But it is a little bit loud in here. It doesn't quite have the luxury sound deadening of modern cars. Now let's talk about the looks. This generation of Jeep Cherokee is known as the ZJ. For any Jeep fans, you'll recognize that. It doesn't look bad. It's not the most appealing Jeep in the world, but it also isn't ugly. It's not hideous. And obviously this Jeep has been lifted, put on different tires, different bumpers and stuff like that. So this isn't really a stock look. Overall, the driving experience is abysmal. It's not great. The steering, because it is a steering box, it's real vague. As you can see, I'm shaking the wheel a fair amount and the wheels are not turning. There's a lot of input in the wheel for not a lot of output on the road. But this isn't new. Jeeps have never been well-driving vehicles. I never step out of a Jeep and think, wow, that was a really good driving experience. But Jeeps get a pass on that because they are so good off-road. Jeeps dominate off-road culture. They just do. You can drive almost anywhere in almost any Jeep. I don't know about like the 2-wheel drive Liberties that they made a while back. I don't know about those. But any 4-wheel drive Jeep is going to be capable. It's going to get you wherever you want to go. And that's why these things get a pass for handling so terribly. I mean, I really have to work at this thing just to keep it in a straight line, which no other car would get a free pass on. If I drove a Honda Civic and I had to struggle just to keep it straight, no one would buy Honda Civics. But because these things are so capable off-road, they're so capable in other ways, kind of give the Cherokee a free pass. Overall, I have to say I am surprised by this Cherokee in a couple of ways. The interior is a lot nicer than I thought it would be. You have that really cool, like I said, retro-ish display displaying the Jeep. I have heated seats, memory seats, power seats, leather seats, a sunroof. I have some wood grain spread out across the cabin. I'm not really sure if it's real wood grain or not. I don't think it is. If it's the same wood grain as it's in the 98 Ram, then it's definitely not real. And I really do like the gauges. The gauges, these are some of my favorite gauges I've driven with recently. They're just so clear, so concise, so obvious. And I think a lot of auto manufacturers, they overdo their gauges. They go too far. But these are so simple, and I love them. But like I said, the Jeep doesn't drive the best. I'm sure smaller tires and no lift, it would be a lot better. But overall, those are my thoughts on the Jeep Cherokee, 1998 Jeep Cherokee with a 5.9 liter V8. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the Jeep Cherokee. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.